PubMed, as many of the contemporary search engines, uses an artificial intelligence supported search methodology. It involves enables many user-friendly options. For example, there is this best match sort order. This is the default. So it is a learning algorithm that helps the end user to come up with the best search. For example, as it is in Google search or many other search engines, you have this autocomplete option, spell checking suggestions when you make a wrong wrong word. You may be offered with the better solutions, or a citation sensor, for example, which displays suggested results for searches that include terms characteristic of citation searching, for example, author names, journal titles, publication dates, and article titles. Also included in PubMed search is this similar articles option. I will show you a screenshot from that. Similar articles are displayed in rank of order from most to least relevant, with a link from citation displayed first. And this similar articles is another option beyond your own search. You may, when you click on one article, here, for example, I have searched diabetes and I have come up with the recent therapeutic interventions of fenugreek. When you scroll down the screen, or you click on that and scroll down, you will see the similar articles. As you see, they are pretty relevant to this search. Recent therapeutic interventions of fenugreek seed, a mechanistic approach. So this is here all about the fenugreek seed and its therapeutic use. And the similar articles, as you see, are also very relevant. The PubMed understands that you are looking for fenugreek, so he suggests you basic publications which are relevant to the search. Then you may search by date. There are options to select dates. Here you see on the left side there is a bar where you can adjust your dates. Also in the advanced search you have this, but this is very user-friendly here. If you want to search the last few years, recent time interval, then you may adjust here your search. You may limit your dates. And of course, frequent users, they may be familiar with the abbreviations and codes in searching, but you may also consider using the search builder in PubMed. Search builder is where you have to click first advanced to come to reach this advanced search builder. And here, if you have logged in with your account, then your search query will remain there for a long time so that you can come back and continue to work on your recent search. There, under advanced search builder, you have the fields. You may add one field and use the add button here, and together with, of course, Boolean operators and wildcards. Now, what are these Boolean operators? The three operators in PubMed are and, or, and not. These need to be capitalized in order to work as Boolean operators. How they are implemented, I will show you in a few minutes. Of course, there is also this wildcard, this star or multiplication sign. you may use it as wildcard. I will show you also what that means. So one search I did is diabetes fenugreek. As you see, two words separated with a space, no Boolean operator in between. But I should mention that AND is the default Boolean operator in PubMed. So if you type diabetes fenugreek, that means actually for PubMed, diabetes and fenugreek. It should return the same number of searches. Diabetes fenugreek has 332 hits. If I type diabetes and fenugreek, it is the same hit as you see. So this is the default Boolean operator in PubMed. And of course, you may also consider using the wildcard. What is a wildcard? If you add this symbol at the end of some letters, that means that this word may end, should start with these four letters, D-I-A-B, diab, but it may end differently. It may be diabetes, diabetic, diabetology, or whatever. So this is the use of wildcards. You know the first few letters of your word, but the remaining letters you're not sure, and you want the PubMed, the computer, to search all possible options, then you may consider using the wildcard. Here, an example of how wildcard functions. When I use prevent wildcard star, that may mean includes prevention, preventable, preventive, or wildcard, diarrhea, the British or American spelling, and all other options. Then we have this quotes. Using the quotes is also in Google search possible, you know. So frequent internet users are familiar with this. If you include quotes, a few words within a quote, that means you want the computer to bring you exactly this phrase. So if I type fenugreek for diabetes mellitus, that means I really want an article which is having this word, this phrase in it. Here I have fenugreek in diabetes mellitus, two articles, as you see, one published in 99 and the other one in 94, both in the same journal. So let's do some combinations now, some other options. The OR operator, or as the name implies, it has the function using one word or another option. So diabetes or fenugreek or aloe vera, and aloe vera in quotes. That means I want these two words exactly as they are, not vera aloe or not differently, exactly as they are. I have many hits, as you see, because I used the OR option. Diabetes, it should be more than diabetes, more than fenugreek, and more than aloe vera alone, of course. And when I did this search, I had 7 hits. Diabetes and now I use the AND option instead of OR. I use the AND option. So with the OR option, I had 794,000 hits. With the OR option, I have only 7 hits, as you see. AND option, I have the 7, not only 7 hits. Diabetes and fenugreek and aloe vera. And scientific work which includes diabetes also includes fenugreek, and it includes aloe vera, 7 hits. So you easily could guess that we may draw a Venn diagram showing all these together. This above is the number of hits when I used the OR option, and when I used only diabetes, only fenugreek, only aloe vera, I would have this separate numbers of articles returned. And here is the intersection, the 7, which include diabetes and fenugreek and aloe vera. So you may do any kind of combinations of and or even not, if you know really what you are going to search. Here, an example when you are using not, the not option, diabetes and aloe vera, but I don't want in the articles, I don't want that fenugreek appears, and that returns with 118 hits. So there are in the advanced search, you will find the search field tags. You may choose any of these tags. These are tens of tags here available, and make a search specific in this field. So that means when indexing the scientific work, PubMed uses different tags. If your affiliation is tagged under AD, affiliation, the author names are tagged under author, AU, and so on. And if you want to search all fields, you have the all tags, of course. So you may use these. These are the frequently used, by the way: author, title, title abstract, title or abstract. These are the frequently used field tags. So frequent users usually have these abbreviations in their mind, so that they don't need to go and click and select always these tags. They just write in the search box here, diabetes in square brackets. You must write it with square brackets. TI, title, that means title. So in the title, I want to have diabetes. And additionally, I want the article to include also in the title fenugreek. Here you see I have 26 results. 2 of them are shown in this figure, fenugreek and diabetes appearing in the title. You may use AU, means author, and search for a certain author. I search my own name. It is not hundreds of articles, but I have few articles published in PubMed. So that will return only the author you have mentioned. Then we have filters. After you make a search, you run your search, you may additionally apply some filters in PubMed. These filters are on the left side of the sidebar. Let us see. You should practice yourself by finding out, because there are many search filters available, like article type, species, language, sex, subject, journal, age, etc. And under language, you have many options. You may hit only Japanese, and then when you click that box, you will only return Japanese articles. What else? Clinical queries are very important for us physicians, although I observe that they are not used as frequent as they desire, as they deserve. But I suggest they should be used more frequently because they are very useful. So this is one benefit of PubMed. They have this option to use clinical queries. Clinical queries are produced by using the medical subject headings, medical subject heading, vocabulary. So there is a vocabulary with around, I suppose, 10,000 or more than 10,000 words or titles in it. And this vocabulary is used for preparing clinical queries. Actually, when a scientist or scientists submit a paper to the journals for publication, they must include also keywords. In the publication, you must include your keywords. Keywords should be composed of mesh, actually. They should be composed of the mesh words. This is not always the case, but some journals, they strictly require the authors to select their keywords from the mesh headings. But even if it is mesh or not mesh, the keywords are used to build up a clinical query. So what are the categories for clinical queries? You can select from treatment, diagnosis, etiology, and prognosis. You see, treatment. This is actually what we physicians are dealing with. Either we are behind a treatment, or we are trying to make a diagnosis, or we are looking for the etiology. The patient asks us about etiology, or sometimes about the prognosis. One example for using the clinical queries case, 62 years old man with hypogonadism. After an attempt at transdermal patch treatment resulted in excessive skin irritation, he has been receiving periodic testosterone enanthate injections. So he used first the patch, transdermal patch, then he switched to injections. He recently heard about the testosterone gel preparation, and he wonders whether it would be an effective alternative. So you want to make a PubMed search because it is accessible, free, and easily to do the search. So you enter the PubMed, and you see below here, you have the different options. Mesh database journals, advanced search, clinical queries are here. Clinical queries. Okay. So, clinical queries. Making your search by clicking on the clinical queries, you come up with this screen. And here you may do a specific search under the clinical queries, which you select, whether you are behind treatment and whether your scope is broad or narrow. So you select your scope and you type in your search terms, testosterone gel and hypogonadism. These are my keywords in this case. I hope you agree with me to use these keywords in this specific condition. And because it is about therapy, I selected from the category therapy, and I don't want to have a broad scope. I want to bring in the computer, bring me in a few very relevant articles. You see, there are 2 hits. There are 77 hits. From them, the first one, testosterone replacement in hypogonadal man during inpatient rehabilitation following traumatic brain injury, and testosterone for androgen deficit-like syndrome in men without hypogonadal, randomized placebo control, etc. So, very relevant articles, actually, which are directly targeting my need. And here is one, the abstract of one of them. This is randomized double-blind placebo-controlled trial with the objective to determine the feasibility, safety, and efficacy of testosterone therapy in hypogonadal men following TBI. So the clinical queries feature of PubMed is a useful resource for rapidly filtering and displaying methodologically sound and clinically relevant citations on treatment, diagnosis, etiology, prognosis. Okay, don't forget these 4 options. These are the main categories where we do our search. It has considerable utility for busy clinicians, and among its limitations is the incomplete access to full text articles, of course. PubMed search is free, but the articles themselves, they may be free. Some of them are free, some of them are paid. The next and probably last option is the mesh search. So it is also possible to do a mesh search in PubMed. Here, when you enter PubMed, on the right-hand side, you see that mesh database. So I click on mesh database, and in the drop-down box here, also you could do yours by selecting the drop-down box mesh. Now it means your search will bring only mesh terms. And I searched this time for flu vaccines because I want to demonstrate to you how informative it is, these mesh terms, because it is including very broad terminology in medicine, in the medical field. So when you do a search, it is also helpful for learning. Flu vaccines I searched, okay? And then you have this tree here. When you search for flu vaccines, you have vaccine quadrivalent influenza. Under this, you have all mesh categories. You see, the flu vaccine actually belongs to viral vaccines, that is belonging to vaccines, biological products, complex mixtures, and so on. So you see all the tree where one term is actually belonging to. And by this way, you can go down in the tree or up and come up with very relevant relevant materials. When I click on the vaccines option, I have the very broad covering names of the different vaccines. When I click on bacterial vaccines, I will see all the possible bacterial vaccines. When I click on viral vaccines or synthetic vaccines or whatever I need, I will have the terms listed under that category. I believe I find it very useful for learning purposes. For students, for example, I would suggest students to use it for learning purposes. Okay. So, what else? Here under this mesh search, vaccines, there are other options, as you see: adverse effects, drug effects, economics, embryology, etc. So you may also click one of these. By this way, you may limit your search. To further limit the articles on egg allergy, for example, we may search egg allergy, which returns egg hypersensitivity. Now we may add this term by clicking Add to Search Builder and do our search. If you click Search, you will have a narrow number of targeted citations, which is possible to read. Otherwise, you will have thousands of articles. It is not possible for a busy clinician or student to access and read. You see, vaccines, adverse effects in the mesh, that's what we searched in the mesh, and then egg hypersensitivity also in mesh. So if you are a frequent user, you know these terms, these search tags, mesh tag, and the quotation, how to apply the quotation, and the Boolean operator in between, and how to use the brackets. So that would be allowing you actually very rapidly just by typing to search. But this PubMed has also a very user-friendly website allowing you to build a search. Okay, this is the article we selected here. I selected here the frequency of allergic reactions to the triple viral vaccine in 94 patients with egg allergy. Why I brought this abstract of this article, because I wanted you to see how relevant it is for your daily practice. What is this article saying us? They used 94 patients with egg allergy, because you are expecting that if somebody has egg allergy, the viral vaccines, which include, which are produced from egg yolk, you suppose that they could cause an allergic reaction. And what they have results, a total of 94 patients met the selection criteria, 8 had cutaneous symptoms, 22 had anaphylactic reaction, etc. Regardless of the severity of their reaction to egg, all patients received the triple viral vaccine, and in 100% of the cases, it was well tolerated. That is interesting, isn't it? So this actually, this evidence shows us that our assumptions sometimes are wrong. I would, as a physician, not dare to give a shot viral vaccine to somebody who has egg allergy. But this article proves the opposite. Anyways, this was just a side information relevant to the content. So the mesh terms, they are under each article. Whenever you come search for an article, whenever you read an article, you should be aware that in each article, followed by the abstract, below the abstract, you have your mesh terms, the keywords. And yeah, exactly. The keywords are very important for PubMed to make the search. So that was all for today. I will stop here. Stop recording.